Namaskar. Today we will explore how organizations like HDFC Bank design their recruitment resources and mix. This means deciding where to find the right talent and in what proportion. Striking the balance between the bulk hiring for growth and targeted hiring for the specialized role. So let's begin the session. What is recruitment? Recruitment is the process of attracting and selecting the suitable candidates to meet the organizational needs. The purpose is right skills are available at the right time, support business expansion, maintain organizational culture and diversity. So, if we talk about this case, the theme of this case is strategic recruitment planning to support the rapid growth and diversity goals at HTFC. It focused on how HDFC Bank aligned its recruitment sources, sorry, let me change the color, yes, recruitment sources and mix to meet the three things. Number one, business expansion. Number two, diversity targets, and also cultural alignment during the large scale hiring. HDFC Bank is scale and context as per the financial year 2022 to 2023. HDFC Bank was founded in 1994 and it was experiencing rapid expansion in BFSI sector. What is BFSI sector? That is banking, finance, services and insurance sector. Banking, finance services and insurance sector. So by March 31st, 2023, the workforce grew 22 year on year to 1,73,222 employees with a hiring rate of 5,000, around 5,000 hires per month, which led to around 60,000 employee per year. The why the industry was growing, this BFSI sector was growing because of the digitalization of the financial services. Let me change the color. Digitalization of the financial services, then financial inclusion initiatives, and also surge in white collar job creation. So these are the three factors because of which BFSI sector was experiencing growth in 2022-2023. Recruitment and sources mix HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank uses a balanced mix of recruitment sources to ensure the scale and quality. It does not just believe in quantity, but it also believes in the quality of the employees. So, we are going to talk about the four things, four initiatives at HDFC. We'll begin with employee referrals, for example, being cost effective, fast, and culturally aligned, especially useful for quick regional expansion. Like one employee is already working in your organization, you're asking, do you know someone whom you can recommend? As I was working in previous organization, it was like HR called me so many times for different positions at times. Okay, whether you can recommend someone from your circle for this job for the who is working in this domain. So this way employee referrals play a wonderful role, and it saves a lot of time and cost because you are asking your present employee to recommend someone, to refer someone, and then on the basis of the performance of the person at the time of interview and selection or tests, the person can be hired. Second is lateral versus fresher hiring. Laterals being immediate expertise, and freshers can come from campuses, build a long term pipeline for the organization. Then we are going to talk about the functional focus, where the bulk hires for retail operations and targeted hires for wholesale, digital, and IT roles. We'll also talk about the talent development models here, where we'll talk about programs like graduate training and future bankers develop internal talent for the leadership role. So this balanced mix helped HDFC Bank to get the right talent to the right time for the right roles. So we are going to study all four in the upcoming slides, so I'm not going in detail. Let's begin with employee referrals. It says when a company employee, as I told you in the previous slide, when the present employee recommend the person they know for open positions. For in HDFC's case, they kept 40% of the total hires came through the employee referrals. It applies across all levels as the organization is having three levels. So it happened at all levels, from entry level to the leadership position, entry level, the fresher to the leadership positions, and special encouragement for referring women to boost the diversity. So it was not like that the present employee were asked about their known person, but also the women were also encouraged in the banking sector. The benefits of employee referrals: faster sourcing. Why I'm saying faster? Because in traditional hiring process, the HR posts the job ads and then wait for the applicants and then shortlist, and it can take weeks. It can take the time of weeks and sometimes months. But with referrals, the candidate is identified instantly by the existing employee, and the employee already knows that the skills required. So culture of the organization would be right fit because the employee tend to recommend people with the similar work values. The speed also, the because it cuts down the sourcing and screening time. Yes, and it is also cost effective because it reduces the dependence on the external recruiters or costly job advertisement or portals. So the example could be, you imagine you you are an employee at HDFC and you refer your ex colleague who is skilled in retail banking. HR gives them priority screening because they trust your recommendation. So there are three things I would like to repeat. There is one: skills, right culture, and right fit. They are apt for that. And also it saves time because traditionally recruitment takes the time of weeks or sometimes months, but in referrals it's like instant. Then lateral versus fresher hiring. So as you can see on the screen also, the lateral hiring, HDFC maintained the balance between lateral and fresher hiring. As you can see, HDFC Bank maintained the 80% lateral, while 20% fresher hiring. Why? Because for lateral hiring, because an experienced credit analyst from another bank can handle loan assessment immediately without wasting a 0 day at work, and mistakes in this area can be costly. Hence experienced professionals are preferred, and in the fast paced BFSI environment this reduces the learning curves also because it is cost effective as well, because the person is coming to the organization and he is not wasting any time from day zero. He is working in the organization because he is skilled. He does not require any training. In another organization he was working on the same profile, maybe for more challenges. Okay, so recruiting experienced professionals from the other organizations. Yes, 80% are hires from laterals, and it reflects the ready to perform talent, and especially in the retail banking and operations and credit. When we talk about fresher hiring, it is like they don't have because these people, they don't have any fixed work habits from other organizations. They bring fresh perspective, and they bring creativity and also the enthusiasm. So they can create, they can play a strategic role in creating talent pipeline in the organization. In this case, HDFC training freshers build loyalty because the person knows that company is making huge investment in their growth, so they can grow within the organization and form the future leadership pool future leadership pool. So from these, out of these 20%, they are getting trained and they are there for the future. This is for immediate and this is for future. So recruiting individuals with no or minimal work experience, especially from campuses. HDFC has 20% of the hires are freshers and allow them to mold the young talent according to the bank's culture. So banking is a service intensive and the compliance heavy industry where high volume retail expansion demands a large pool of immediately deployable staff, hence 80% lateral, and sustainable growth requires developing future leaders and 20% fresher intake. If someone asks you this question, you can justify with this answer. B. Lateral versus fresher hiring. So when we talk about lateral hiring, we are talking about recruiting experienced professionals from other organizations. HDFC maintained the ratio of 80-20, where they maintain 80% as lateral hires and 20% as fresher hires. So HDFC 80% of the hires were laterals, and which reflects the need to ready to perform talent, especially in the retail banking operations and credits. So, and as for example, an experienced credit analyst from another bank, credit analyst from another bank can handle the loan assessment immediately without any training. Because why 80% in this sector? Because mistakes in these areas can be costly, and because of this only, the experienced professionals are preferred in the fast-paced BFSI environment. This also reduces the learning curve of the employee. Then let's talk about fresher hiring. Fresher hiring is very simple, recruiting individuals with no or minimal experience, so typically from campuses, because they don't have the freshers, they don't have any fixed work habits. They don't have any fixed work habits, and they bring the fresh perspectives, creativity, and enthusiasm at workplace, and they are the part of the long term talent pipeline, because there is a lot of time for them to achieve. And training, training freshers builds loyalty, and they can grow within the organization and from the form the future leadership pool. Future leadership pool. So HTFC maintained that 20% of the hires were freshers, and it allowed them to mold the young talent according to the bank culture. Now, some people may ask the question, why 80-20? Why not like 70 or 70 and 30 rule? So the rationale for this is banking is a service intensive and compliance heavy industry. So when we talk about this, it takes a lot of responsibility. So high volume retail expansion, as HDFC was having 1,500 branches opened up. So high volume retail expansion demands a large pool of immediately deployable staff. Hence, 80% were lateral because they had no time to offer training to the employees, new recruits. And for sustainable growth, it requires, developing the future leaders. Hence, 20% fresher intake. So for future, we are talking about 20%, but for immediate hiring, immediate things, we're talking. Look at this picture. Think of HDFC's workforce as a cricket team, which is a combination of lateral hires and freshers. When we talk about lateral hires, they are the seasoned players. They know the rules of the game, they know the strategy of game, and they can perform under pressure when everybody is looking at them or staring at them. Everybody when is expecting them to win. And freshers are the rookies. Freshers are the rookies. They are full of energy, enthusiasm. They are trainable, most importantly, and they have the potential for as to emerge as the next star player. So you need more seasoned player for. Let me just change the color. Yeah, you need more seasoned player for now for winning the match, but you need rookies also. You need to invest in rookies also for future seasons. You need to train them. So, like, this is lateral and this is rookie. Here is the split pie chart which shows that 80% lateral versus 20% fresher hiring, with the ring explaining the reasons for each. This way, you see both the ratio and the rationale in the single glance. C. Functional focus. This recruitment strategy directly reflects where the business is growing fastest, and what functions are critical for smooth operations, which functions. So retail banking gets over 50% of all hires because bank is expanding its physical footprints, opening 1,500 new branches in financial year 2023. Each branch is going to require new staff, like for example sales staff, then relationship managers, then frontline customer service to handle the walk-in customers and open accounts and drive product sales. Without staffing up there, the new branches cannot operate at full capacity. Then the second one is operations and credit. They form the second largest hiring category because as the front end grows, the back end must also scale, because these teams um, these teams actually work in processing the transactions, check compliance, and verify loan applications. Let me just okay, yeah, these three. And they manage the lending efficiency as well. Yes, manage the lending efficiency. If the retail banking brings in more business, operations and credit ensure that the business is executed quickly, accurately, and within regulations. So in short, retail hires fuel growth retail hires fuel growth, while operations and credit hires safeguard and sustain that growth. So without both, expansion would either stall or create bottlenecks. So both of them, the retail and operations staff, both are important. D, talent development models. The first model is hire and train, where the recruit the first candidate and then provide the job specific training before they start. Example, hiring fresh graduates from the campus and putting them through 3-week induction on retail banking products. Second one is train and hire. Identify the potential candidates, train them before they are formally hired, often done in collaboration with training institutes or skilling programs. So why use these models? Because they create a steady talent pipeline for both mass and specialized roles. They ensure recruits are job ready and aligned with the service quality expectations. Hire and train is recruit first. This is the example, like fresh graduate, 3 weeks induction on banking products, fast onboarding for mass roles. And train and hire is example, partnering with institutions for pre-hire training and builds a ready talent pool for the specialized roles. Yes. Then diversity and inclusion initiatives. Very interestingly, HDFC promotes diversity and they encourage women to come at the work even after a break. So 30% of all hires in financial year 23 were women. Overall gender ratio crossed 24% across the organization, and there were various 24% over the uh, women focused programs were also there. For example, bank again, where the women were rehired who previously worked in the bank and helping them rejoin without starting from the scratch. Second thing is careers 2.0, where special recruitment for women returning after a career break due to family relocation or studies. Then the third one is sorry. The third one is Inspire, where mentorship network to guide women in their career growth. Then the CAP, that is Career Accelerator Program. It targets high potential women in the middle management to prepare them for the senior leadership role. For example, there's a woman who is working on a middle level role and she can be trained for the senior higher positions. Then Pleasant Parenthood. Yeah. HDFC also supported mothers transitioning back to work after maternity leave with flexible and smooth reintegration. So overall impact was the initiatives increased women's participation there. It boosts their morale also. It reduced their career gaps, and also it created the leadership pipeline, and also bought the loyalty of those women, and also by building the gender diversity and equality. Then strategic alignment. Recruitment also supported the business growth and transformation. For example, when we talk about branch expansion, hiring to staff 1,500 new branches opened in financial year 2023 with more in the pipeline. Number two, digital transformation. Recruiting talent is skilled in digital banking, technology, and modern operations. Then diversity goals. Focused hiring to improve gender balance and promote inclusion. Then sector target pipeline, not just HDFC needs, but BFSI workforce growth. So building capabilities not just for HDFC Bank, but also for the broader banking, financial services, and insurance industry. How it was linked to the recruitment concepts. The concept, the example, and the strategic purpose of HDFC. So this is a wonderful example. The concept is source mix, where we are talking about employee referrals and lateral hirings, and also the freshers. So we had three types of resources at HDFC, which can be seen in the case. It had employee referrals, then it had lateral hirings, and it had the freshers. What was the strategic purpose for this? It ensured the cultural fit, speed, and also balance of experience versus new talent. The like in earlier slide we talked about 80-20 ratio. So mass hiring, around 5,000 new hires per month to support the expansion, and 60,000 per year. Staff new branches to meet growing BFSI demand due to digitalization. Yes. Then strategic recruitment, it focused on retail banking and diversity, where they align the talent supply with business goal and inclusion goals. Then diversity hiring, they talked about targeted programs for women, where they also encouraged women even after they encouraged women to enjoy their parenthood without sacrificing their career. They invited women to rejoin the work without compromising their without starting from the scratch. Like for example, there were some women who was working at a like mid level role after the experience of 10 years, and after delivery she had to take the 2 years of maternity leave. So they had the provision of inviting that women to come back and join from the same designation. Improve gender ratio and create leadership pipeline. Yes. Then internal talent development, hire and train and hire with the help of placement agencies or training agencies. Build a steady pool of job. In both the cases, they are having a talent pool for the recruitment. So this is how they maintain the balance between the available talent. Okay, always give references in all my lectures. So this is a list of references. If you want to study the entire case, I have taken the help of these two along with the conceptual significance by this book. So if you want to access this entire article, you can take the help. You can go to this link. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the session. Happy learning.